Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good Morning Xbox. I'm your host, NewfNukem, and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year's, everybody. Our first podcast back in the saddle, episode number 76, as a matter of fact, and this is going to be a good one. We got a couple of great announcements to make this morning, including one being a game giveaway courtesy of ETESHADDAI. So stick around till the end of the show. We're going to bring up the wheel of names and we're going to draw for a code for Need for Speed Unbound. So that is for our U.S. residents only, unfortunately. But hey, it's something. Great way to kick off the year. So let's kick off the year the right way. As you saw, we finally have a bit of an intro. Hope you liked it. Going for that morning show news kind of vibe kind of deal. So I think that was cool. But anyway, let's get right in there. I will be adding the names to the wheel as we go along. So let's introduce our panel as the way they appear on my screen. And we're going to start with CoolcatTerri. What you been up to?
Hey everybody, I am back. New year, new look, as I had told you guys, and I hope you guys are excited. And we're going to have a great show and have some good fun. And I've just been working a lot.
She has been working, absolutely.
A lot.
Next, we're gonna save one for last because it's a bit of a surprise announcement. Let's go in reverse order here. So I will bring in Axel 1324. What you been up to, Axel?
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's good. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody's New Year's and holiday season was great. It's been a few weeks since we last talked to you guys, and I can't wait to get this new year started with the new attitudes and the new things Noof wants to accomplish on this.
Absolutely. Speaking of the attitudes, and that is one thing that I'm going to try to be a little bit more cognizant of. I know when I started this podcast, we always said we wanted to be more focused on laser focus on Xbox and what Xbox is doing. Hence the name Good Morning Xbox. And I want it to be a little uplifting and upbeat. It is the morning, obviously. We're all trying to wake up. But, there's enough negativity in the world, and I'm sure in the gaming industry, there's lots of great news out there each and every week that many of us perhaps overlook or get just caught up in the shenanigans. So we are going to try to keep this show a little bit more focused on the positive side of gaming and not get wrapped up in the rigmarole all the time. So, yeah, let's just keep it rolling, and let's bring in Scrub Nurse. What you been up to, brother?
Morning, everybody. Good to see the new year rolling in. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Glad to be back on the show. Some innocent stuff. Got my coffee. Ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I see you rocking some Call of Duty last night. Where was my invite, bro?
Oh, yeah. Unless somebody hits me up, I'm laser focused. I don't know who's on.
It's all good. I wasn't kicking around long. My buddy invited me to go play Call of Duty, and then when I show up, he's like over playing Fortnite, and then the next thing you know, he's off doing something else. So it's like, okay, whatever. But anyway, let's bring in Eternal SHADDAI. What you been up to?
Good morning. This is your compatriot Eternal SHADDAI. Happy New Year's to everybody. What I've been doing? Well, sleepy still, but ready for the topics.
Yes, and unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of juicy topics this morning, but we're going to talk about a little game called Starfield and a little bit more. And here's our first surprise announcement of the morning. If you didn't know, he is back. The Cerebral one, Cerebral Paul himself, is back on the panel. Morning, Paul.
I'm back, baby. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good to be back. Oh, I could use a good, strong cup of coffee right now. But I'm back, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be exciting. Should be fun. Lots to talk about. Cool. Let's go.
Let's go, indeed. Yes. Great chat this morning. Let's catch up with them real quick, and let's move this right along. You're wicked hot, first guy in the chat this morning. Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully your game shows up real soon. The Wicked Hot won a game on one of the podcasts before Christmas, and he decided to pick up himself a copy of Saints Row. It's in the mail. He'll have it momentarily. We got the Jenna in the building. What's going on, man? It's been a long time. Our good friend of the show and longtime supporter, Doggy Dog 420, is here. Tryhard Fan is in the building this morning. Good morning with a fire. Yes, it is fire indeed. We've also got Crazy Greek Dude. Casket Repair is here. And we've got Fastback, Apex, Brandon Dwyer, Dan the Man Cunningham, Ice Queen Gaming is in the building, General Spartan 27, and where else do we go? We got R. Rob, who I haven't played a game with in seems like forever. R. Rob, we got to get some more community game nights going there, brother. And who else? I think we've caught up with everybody. So welcome this morning, and we do have a first super chat of the day. So I'm going to bring it up. Who wants to be our designated super chat reader this time around? Do we have a designated person on the panel who likes doing these things?
I'll jump on it. Sure.
I say, all right, we're going to let Scrub, since he's got that smooth talking voice, he'll be our super chat reader, at least for the week. Here we go. Oh, let's bring her back up.
Doggy Dog has a $1.99 super chat saying, good morning and happy 2023 Noof panel and the chat. Appreciate it.
Perfect. There you go. That's a great way to kick off the show. Kicking it off, Mandingo McThickens. That's a great name for today. All righty. He's listening to the show while painting. Well, we hope you're painting something cool, like maybe a Good Morning Xbox logo. All right, guys, let's get right down to it. Let's talk about Starfield. We're starting to see a little bit more news. I guess the first question is, do we think this game is going to come out on time? I do believe they forecast it to be early in 2023 as opposed to the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't slip at least one more time for the holiday season, because it's probably going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Now, where it falls on a rating scale is yet to be seen, but no doubt about it, it's going to be huge for Xbox, huge for Bethesda, and certainly huge for Game Pass, being a day-and-date title exclusive. So that's pretty cool. So who's our Starfield expert on this panel? Who's the one, cooking all the info up on this? Tell us how you feel about the game and what are your expectations overall.
It's either me or Axel, I'm sure. I'm betting. But I'm
all right.
pretty
Well,
sure
we'll let one of you two guys decide who's going to take this away.
You came back, Paul. You take the lead.
Okay, so here's the deal. One, the support page is now live officially for Starfield. And they have it even still says first half 2023. And my thought is they are going to get it out before the end of June, because the end of June is the end of the fiscal year for Microsoft. So they want to dump it onto this year's fiscal year books. Where we look at things like from a calendar year, they look at it from a fiscal year. So I think that's going to be important. Right now we have Redfall supposed to drop in June, I believe. So my thought is it's either going to drop right at the end of June, or it may even drop. We had some early date promises last year around March or so. So we could see it in the next few months, actually. But it will be before the end of June. I can almost guarantee that. What I've seen of what it looks like now, it looks great. And everything I've heard about, there was a leak, a quote leak, or information from a QA tester that said it's way far more than they anticipated. So that's good news. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. So
yeah, it definitely looking really good. To me, it looks definitely like what we should call a current gen console game. You know what I mean? It's just got that look of polish to it so far. Axel.
Yeah. What's up? No, Starfield, man. I like that that the support page has gone live. It does say first half of 2023. That's still in line with their promise that they made at the E3 showcase, where they showed the next 12 months of Xbox. Where Redfall and Starfield and Forza Motorsport were all part of that first party lineup. So we're going to get 3 Xbox games in the next 6 months, and we'll see when those games come out. But Starfield is the it's the one that I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know what I'm going to do when 1,000 planets come out, 100 star systems with about 1,000 planets. If it's a landable planet, I'm definitely going to land on it. I'm going to mark my turf. You're going to see me just marking my turf like a dog. Yeah, that wall's mine. Yeah, that rock is mine. Stuff like that. But the combat hopefully has cleaned up a little from the showcase. It did look a little sluggish, but games in development always look sluggish. At least they showed gameplay, which is fantastic. So I just cannot wait for Starfield. to come out, and the support page shows that you can sign into Steam and connect your Bethesda.net account. So you can now start connecting your Bethesda.net accounts to other services, which I won't say is super new, but to directly connect it is something. So
Yeah, let's hope it's not too clunky to do that, though, because sometimes connecting those third-party accounts is a serious pain in the butt.
oh, super. It takes away from the download happiness. Like you finish downloading, you go to play, and it's like, oh, sign into your whatever account. In this case, Bethesda account. And you don't remember your password. There's so many people logging in, you're in a queue, it times out. I mean, it all kinds of stuff. So connect your accounts early, guys.
Yep.
Actually, you brought up a really good point about the 1,000 planets, which is one of the marketing features for this game. So the question is, how do they keep people's interest over time? I mean, there's obviously a story behind Starfield. So, like what do you hope that they go for? Are they trying to be like a game that kind of appeals to everyone, or do you think the story is going to be focused in enough that this 1,000 planets and all the things that you can build don't get too distracting? Because look, I'll say that one of the closest games I can think of that comes to mind every time I see a game similar to this is No Man's Sky, which obviously started out with, again, somewhat similar, that massive scope and scale, and it obviously took a very long time for that title to get there. Mine is obviously a much smaller studio and a much smaller budget, but they were kind of going sort of for the same thing. Now, it does feel like Starfield is going to be a lot more action focused, the common Fallout shooting mechanic sort of deal, with the space exploration. So how do you keep someone's interest over that? Like, are you hoping that the planets are all going to be interesting or all have very set mission objectives? Or is it, you think there's only going to be so many that are kind of wound around the story and the rest are just kind of like you land on it and maybe you set up a camp, or you just explore and mine for different things or get resources and then just take off again? How do you think they're going to tackle that? And again, keep people engaged, because this game could be one of those where people spend hundreds of hours, or you lose people after 20 because it starts to become fly here, grab this, fly here, grab that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of little nuggets, as I call it, where you're going to be talking to someone's going to mention some planet somewhere where they left something, or they heard some legend that that something legendary exists there, and you'll just go there to explore, see if you can find it. And that is very akin to Skyrim and even Elder Scrolls. Not right now, Elder Scrolls Online, I play it. Everywhere you look, there's a quest. Everywhere you look, there's a resource. Everywhere you look, there's a cave. And so I'm imagining that they're going to do it the same way, where if you're not careful, your map marker is just going to be flooded with quest dots. Because everybody you talk to has information. They've heard something, a rumor, or some bandit's gone away and he's in hiding. You might become a bounty hunter. Who knows? People down on these remote planets. That would be cool.
I really hope it doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed map marker fest. By the it's like, wow.
Elder Scrolls actually, I think they perfected that. You can display up to 5 quests at a time, they said, and you get to choose the quest you want to display. So
yeah,
they do have a focused quest mode.
Enough with the map opening thing. Like, have the map open from the get go. Have your objectives very clearly focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, I'm sure they're going to have unexplored regions. It is a space game after all. So
that sounds like
part of the fun of Bethesda games is always, what is it? Messing around and finding out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you mess around and you find a dragon, like in a Skyrim, and stuff like that. So part of the fun of it is, oh, what's over here, and you find out what's over there, and what you find out is usually something that can kill you.
Yep.
So it's going to be one of those really fun things. It's still going to have that Bethesda DNA. It's just going to be in space.
Yep.
Right. Dragons.
Can I speak to your question a little bit there, Noof? I don't think all of the planets are going to have something to do, even though they may be. You may have to stop by there to get stuff, but even if it's just 1 or 2 planets per sector have something to do. I know for me, once I'm in the sector, if I can, I may stop off on those other planets, and it'll take a while to wipe out that 1,000 planets, but I plan on getting that achievement, early on compared to other people. I'm going to try to make a system out of making sure I stop by planets as I go by them, basically. You know,
Well,
so,
that was funny. I don't know if you saw Dan the Man's statement there, but he said, "I'm curious what the achievement will be for exploring all 1,000 planets."
there is going to be one. Yeah,
5.
there is going to be one. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like quite the task. And to be honest, I kind of hope that they don't like that. All the planets are there. I hope they do like have some sort of semi quote boring planets. Because I think that's what would make the game more interesting is not have every planet where there's like 100 things trying to kill you, like where you could literally explore in leisure. Some planets are nice to look at, some are going to be ugly, just like planets in space right now. Some planets in our own solar system are like, they're more interesting than others. But obviously, these are going to be life-focused planets for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it's going to be also resource-focused because you are going to have to build your own ship out as to get further into the game. It's not going to be ready-made cookie-cutter ships. Everybody's ship is going to be different.
All right, hear me out, Paul. What if there are some planets like volcanic planets and you have to construct a special spacesuit to land on it? So even though you might have known that planet's there, you cannot land on it or get because your ship can't handle it or your suit can't handle it.
Atmospheric effects. That would be cool.
Yeah, or, an icy planet like Pluto or something.
Yep, or Hoth. Yeah, the planet Hoth.
If they throw some other game Easter eggs on there, I would if they throw Halo in there, I will laugh.
Oh yeah, it'd be nice if there were some other game Easter eggs in there. That'd be
what's all this? It looks like a giant battle took here. This planet is completely glassed.
Cross licensing, and all of a sudden you see like Wampas and Tauntauns going across the map.
Use Halo shooting mechanics, and then we'll talk.
Oh yeah, the shooting mechanics. I hope they went to either id or to 343 for some help on that, because I can tell, even though I like Fallout, the shooting always had something to be desired.
See, and I've always liked the shooting mechanics with the time dilation stuff and all that, and the targeting systems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of shooting mechanics, there's nobody one to talk about that than Scrub Nurse himself, Mr. Shooter Extraordinaire. What do you hope for Starfield, especially when it comes to the combat? I mean, to make it a very satisfying experience? Because, look, to my experience, like, the Fallout games are okay, but in terms of the shooting itself, no, I wouldn't say they set the world on fire. They certainly weren't the most premium shooting mechanics I've ever played. So perhaps, being that they're also the same internal studios that have a game called Doom, which has very quick and accurate shooting controls, maybe they find a blend of both. What do you think they do here?
Well, from the stuff that they showed us before, the shooting mechanics look very off-putting to me as far as what I like to see in a shooter. But I will say that knowing some of the stuff in the game, what they've showed us already, there are some different mechanics, some different achievements that they use in the game that should maybe explain why some of the stuff looks bad. Like in some of the videos, the guy never aimed down the sights of the gun like the whole time. Well, there are different stuff you can add to your person, your astronaut, or however you want to call it, that shoots the gun without aiming down the sights. And if they get enough kills or whatever, blah, 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 then it gives them this kind of upgrade or that kind of upgrade. So that might explain some of it in some of these videos while they weren't shooting exactly down the sights. But I think on a game like this, they're not going to focus too much on the shooting mechanics. It's going to be more about the lore. It's going to be more about the exploration. And it's just going to be with one of these Bethesda games, you're just going to have to learn to do with, because most of their games, if you look at it, it's not, oh, wow, we're going to shoot, unless you're looking at more of a Fallout. Even when the best thing when you look at VATS or something like that, that wasn't like a true kind of shooting style. It was pause, pick where you're going to go, and then your shots go off. So I never look at Bethesda as saying, oh, wow, when I'm playing this game, these shooting mechanics are going to be great. But eventually, hopefully, it is better than what they originally shown. So they've had extra time to work on it. Do I think they improved it really that much. I doubt it, but it's still going to be a game that it's going to be interesting to try. It's going to be on Game Pass, so why not try it out?
Absolutely. We're going to go to Eternal SHADDAI. What are some of your expectations and hopes for this game?
Well, my hopes. Well, let's see, because 1,000 planets, that's a lot of exploration. And the thing is that I'm not good when it comes to 300 and plus hours. And if I have done, it's probably like 2 or 3. But sometimes it takes a lot from you, because you're pretty much exploring the same thing over and over, and then you have to come back, and you have to do a lot of the resources, especially for Starfield if you want to create your own spaceship. So sometimes that drags it out way too much, and sometimes I feel like if I stay too long for that one, another game might take over for that. So, and as much as you're trying to say like, yeah, but you could play this much, and you could play that one and then come back, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes that brand new game might take over for that one, and you pretty much forget about Starfield probably until there's nothing else to play, and you're brings back, let me continue playing Starfield.
What you're saying is everyone's going to play this one for the first week, and then it's going to be in the backlog for a while.
And that's what I'm saying, because if we look at it, for what we know, Microsoft is trying to set up and release a lot of the games for the year. And depending on the time frame, let's say, from my understanding, this is just my guess. Let's say Starfield, they're trying to release it on March, the month of March, but then Redfall, they're trying to release it on May. Mm-hmm. So look at that time. Look at that time frame right there. For some, yes, they don't like Redfall, but what about for people that want to have both? So sometimes
there's also about 6 third-party games dropping in that window, by the way.
Exactly. Actually, you are correct. But see what I mean? So it's really tough to have release a game that big, especially like Paul said, there's a lot between January and June that is packed. Is really, really packed. So I don't know. So for me right now, I'm gonna put that to the side. Yes, it is interesting, and I play a little bit of Skyrim, but I kind of backed out because I'm like, that's way too long. I'm gonna feel the same way. But look at it, the games that we have for this, from January to June. That's a lot of gaming. That's a lot of gaming. What about you, Coolcat?
Yeah, Coolcat, come in and weigh in on the the Starfield situation. Sounds like you're one of the few people on the panel that is not quite as excited as I saw one of your chats saying about Bethesda, yes, which is normally par for the territory with Bethesda games. They are rather buggy. I suspect no different out of this one, considering its massive scope and scale. So are we expecting another poop show, so to speak, when this game launches, or you think it can come out competently enough that it's in a really good playable state? It's going to have certain things, and it's probably going to have a fairly significant day one patch, I'm sure. But where's your take on this? And again, when it comes to games like this, I mean, what are your expectations for playthrough time? Are you happy if it takes you about 100 hours? Do you think it should be more laser focused to at least 40 on the campaign, and the rest is however you want to take it? What's your take?
But Newf, you said we couldn't be negative.
Well, we still got to talk. We still got to talk about some of those.
All right, so, but all right, so yeah, as everybody knows, I have no hype for this game at all. And I don't know. I feel that. I feel that Bethesda is doing a really good job. From what they've shown of the game, it does look pretty clean and crisp. But that's because that's what they choose to show you. You don't know what you're not seeing. I don't know, man. Like, when you look at the average gamer, I'm not talking about the hardcore gamer that's going to be all about this game, who's going to dedicate over 3 months to playing this game. I'm not talking about you. You are the minority here. The average gamer who's going to boot this game up, they're not going to finish this game. And if they do, they're just going to blast through the storyline, and that's going to be that, because the average gamer does not give a flip about anything over 50 hours.
Agreed.
The hardcore gamer probably is not going to finish this.
Agreed.
So that's just the way it's going to be. Just look at The Witcher 3 as a prime example. That's one of the most beloved RPGs on the planet, and over 60-some%, I think they said, never even finished it, that played the game. So a majority of the people who played that game to this day still have not beat it. And that game is small in scale compared to Starfield. So if people today still haven't beaten Witcher 3, they're not going to beat this game. So it's just the hard reality of it. And I think Bethesda is, they're trying to take on way too much. I'm hoping they prove me wrong. I really want them to prove me wrong, but I really feel like they're trying to take on too much, and it's going to slap them in the face at some point when this game comes out. So I don't know. When it comes to when we saw some of the gameplay for the shooting, it didn't look that good. But then again, this game isn't a shooter. It's that's coming second. So it doesn't, as long as it's functional and it doesn't look ridiculous. If you're shooting at something in front of you and it looks like you're shooting on the side, going sideways, in some of my Tomb Raider games in the past have done, as long as they're not doing that, then it doesn't really matter how good the mechanics are, as long as it's believable. It just has to be believable. I don't know, 1,000 planets. I feel like that's too much too. Most people aren't going to do that. And for me, they need to have planets that you can't go on. Because there would be planets that you cannot go on. We literally have planets we can't visit because the storms and stuff are too intense that we would just get crushed if we landed on it. All right. There should be planets that are too close to the sun that if you went on it, you would literally fry. There should be planets that have gravity so high your bones would crush. There should literally be planets you
I'm
cannot
sure there
visit.
will be. I'm sure there will be.
So then how can you go and say that you can visit every planet if there's planets you cannot visit?
They didn't.
Unless they're going to have you just do a flyby. Unless they're going to be like, yo, you can just do a flyby to count as visiting. Then no one's going to visit planets. They're just going to fly around, try to get as close to everything they can, get the achievement, and that's going to be that. And then that kind of ruins the whole achievement experience completely for anybody.
No, that'll still take a lot of time. Because you're going to have to build out your
even if it takes a lot of time, you can't really brag, oh, I went to all 1,000 planets. All you did was do a flyby. You didn't go to anywhere.
No, because I'm thinking you probably have to build your ship to go to some of those certain areas. Like
I was saying.
To the sun.
Yeah, you need a special suit. You need a special ship to counter those effects.
I feel like they're putting too much into it being built. I don't know. For me, I'm real big into sci-fi stuff, and I feel like there still should be, for science fiction, there still should be some science in it. How advanced are we supposed to be to where you have the technology to basically overcome every single obstacle in front of you? It's not. That's not believable.
That's probably part of the game.
Why don't they made it where, I mean, I don't know if it does exist, but what if it was, if certain planets that were, say, uninhabitable or at least explorable by foot, you were able to send down a sort of a drone or something like that down to the planet where you could scope for resources and bring it back. Okay, we can't go down there. The storms are too nuts for the landed ship. Something like that I think would be really cool too, where you could literally explore around. Okay, we've seen some stuff, and then you kind of retrieve it and bring it back. That'd be really cool. But, I think to spend any significant amount of time, or if the game requires you to spend any significant amount of time on all 1,000 planets to sort of get the achievement or to make it seem worthwhile, I think that's going to be a daunting task. And I think you're onto something, Terry, that we've talked about in the past, is that, one of the reasons games now take so long to make is because I think games are overall becoming way too big in scope and scale. And the problem is, while that's great, I think, for some fans that maybe only play 1 or 2 games a year or have basically a no life syndrome where they can spend 10 or 20 hours a day pounding through one specific game. For the
I feel targeted. Thank you, Noof. I feel targeted. Yeah.
But again, she brings up a point, because a lot of these games, and I'm not talking Bethesda or anyone in particular, this goes for the entire industry, where I think now, for whatever reason, they keep making games bigger And I don't think we need that. It's like going to the movies. I mean, most of us now, I know, where's your happy medium on a movie? When you go to a movie, I know it's a different medium, but still, like, what's your sweet spot for a movie? Because I find a lot of
hour and a
people
half.
after
Hour and a
2 hours,
half. After
most people
2
are
hours,
tuning
it's
out.
just like, get it over with, man. Just get it over with.
Right. So what about the rest of it? Same thing with music. Like, I find a song, if it's more than 5 minutes long, and even 5 is
Oh my
stretching,
God.
you're like, oh my God, like, is the
I
song ever
listen
gonna
to
end?
a lot of metal, and let me tell you how many songs are over 10 minutes long, and it ticks me off. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid.
Guitar riffs, man. Guitar riffs.
That's called album rock, people. That goes old school, okay? Where the
Right.
entire
Yeah.
side of the album was one song.
It's called a rock ballad. Yeah.
That's right.
See, I'm 100% in agreement with Scrub. I think 20 to 30 hours is essentially the sweet spot. That was my biggest gripe with Horizon Forbidden West this year, not to bring up the Sony side of things, but I love the game. But my God, did it really need like so many side quests that essentially span that game to 70, 80, 100 plus hours? I was like, I'm getting halfway through and I'm just like, come on, guys! Like this, and being one of those people that likes to kind of complete the games, I really hate leaving stuff out. But at the same time, you're like, after a while, you just go, frig it. I'm moving on because this is just it's just getting the same old, right? Go here and find this person, or go here and find something else. It doesn't even feel like it's really part of the story. It's like a sidetrack to go to get something, just so you can get some materials to upgrade something. And it's just like, I don't know. It starts to get a bit, a game like that in particular doesn't need it because it's basically supposed to be an action adventure game. Like they've got to separate those kind of games from RPG style games, which do specifically tend to get resource focused.
I don't have an issue playing games that are over 50 or over 100 hours, as long as the side stuff is substantial and it's not just, worthless filler junk. And sadly, majority of games just do worthless filler junk that has no meaning other than you just killing time. And that will make the game a drag. And then it gets to the point where you just start skipping all of it because it's just not worth your time to do it. So it really depends on what they're going to do. I really do it because it's Bethesda, and I've played, Fallout games, and I played their Elder Scrolls games. They do a decent job with side quests, but they do tend to put a lot of stupid fetch questing in there too. Go get this item from this cave. Go get this item. So I feel like there's more, if they follow that, it's going to be a lot of fetch questing. Go to this planet and grab this worthless rock, and bring it here for my stupid experiment that's going to blow up my face as soon as you give it to me. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to see that. Because that's exactly what Bethesda
Terry's
does.
wild.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be wasting my time doing that garbage.
I hear you. So overall, though,
Terry
it sounds
would
like
never have said these things.
outside of Terry, it sounds like most of us are very excited for Starfield. I'm not quite sure how to take her take on it. It sounds like she's like modestly just like interested, but
there were so many quests in Fallout, for example, where you had to go and get something for some stupid guy, and then it was just like he literally it would like break as soon as he got it, and it was just like, why did I even waste my time getting this for you? It was just like, why? Every time there were so many quests where I was just like, why did I go and get this for this? This is what I get for giving you this thing. Like you'll go and give them a gun and the gun blows up, or you'll go and get. It's just stupid. Like it's just like a waste of time.
Well, for you, it's a waste of time. For me, I do stuff like that even before I do some of the main stuff because it allows me to build up my character, get better gear or whatever before I have to step.
I'm talking about the NPCs. I'm not talking about you. Like I always do all the side quests before I even beat my campaign. Like. But no, I'm talking about the NPCs. You'll go and you get something for the stupid quest giver, and then it's just like a worthless outcome.
But it's not because it gets you usually an item or some experience to level up your character.
No, a lot of the times you don't get anything. No, the ones I'm talking about, you don't get anything, but maybe like 20 XP points. Big freaking whoop. I can go kill 2 dudes in the fucking woods and get 20 XP points. I don't need to go and get FPS.
All right.
I'm sorry, but no, that stuff is pointless.
Well, if
they'll give you a little bit of coin. It's Fallout. You could go into any place and go and scavenge some building and get enough silverware to cash in to get the same amount of money.
Yeah. A part of that is because you're waiting too long to do those quests. if they're
I'm not
grayed
waiting too
out.
long to do those quests. I
Yes,
literally
you
do
are.
all my side quests. As soon as I get them, I go and I play them. I skip my story. I end up being overpowered.
But
for my
that's
main
how you
campaign.
can. That's why you're getting crap, because you're overpowered.
No, I'm getting crap because the quests don't give you anything.
Okay.
These quests literally do not give you items. The ones I'm
All
talking
right.
about, they do not give you items. They might give you a little XP and they might give you a little bit of currency. That's it. I'm not talking about some
Okay.
some quest where they're like, okay, you do this, we're going to give you a piece of armor. I'm not talking about those quests. I'm talking about all the worthless ones that give you jack nothing. And in the process of going into the place, you get more
Okay.
XP killing things along the way than the actual quest when it's done. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you'll get a mission where you need this mission to get this pair of boots, but then when you get the boots, now you got to find another mission to get the laces. You know what I mean?
Get the
And you're
laces.
just like, come on.
Or you get the pair of boots and they tell you that that it's supposed to be like exotic, and then it ends up
Right.
your common item is better.
Yeah,
And you've had since you were level 10, and you get like this level 20 item, and your level 10 item is still better. A lot of games do that crap too.
RNG, baby.
Yeah, you get totally sidetracked. I totally get it, Terry. I'm with you on that. Well, I always said too, when a game legitimately gives you a better item, instead of making you sit through a massive inventory trying to clear out what needs to go in the junk drawer and what can come back, it should just have this auto thing, like as soon as you pick up a much better weapon, it should literally come up on the screen saying, "This is one of like almost tell you like this is a weapon you should store because otherwise, this is one of the best. Bottom line, Because I don't my God, I found with Borderlands 3, there's so many weapons in that game. Like every time I pick stuff up, I'm constantly what the hell? Do I keep this? Do I junk it? That almost becomes a game within a game, like a gun inventory management system.
Borderlands is the game where you get the same game 50 times. They just change one little thing on it and make you think that it's something special, and then it ends up being crap. And the majority of the guns you get in that game, you never use. That's Borderlands.
That's why they call it a bazillion guns.
Bazillion guns that are all trash.
With the same style. With the same style.
You're gonna find your main 5, and every single thing else after that is trash. Borderlands in a nutshell.
Everybody in the chat now going, I thought this show was going to be more positive today.
Well,
Exactly.
Actually, it is positive because we're getting comments about it.
No, it's all good. It's funny. I love these conversations. They're great. Oh shit.
You know, when I was hosting this show, I always tried to get Terry to go off, and she never did. What the heck, man? First day back on your Noob's channel, she goes off. I'm like, what? That's all it took was talking about Starfield.
just mention Halo and you'll be fine.
No, she's calmed down on Halo.
By the way, to everybody in the chat, if you haven't noticed, and I think we mentioned at the top of the show, but look at Terry. She's totally rocking a new look this year. She's gone back to the natural hair, and she's even got a hat on instead of a beanie.
Oh, that's true.
New look, same crook, right? We brought Paul back, and he even got rid of his Santa Claus beard. Look at that.
That's right. Yep.
Looks like he's ready to go on a date.
Nope, not quite. Not unless she wants to pay for everything. Not unless she wants to pay for everything. Yeah.
Paul doesn't go on dates. He gets taken.
Paul's
on dates.
out there buying those.
You can get a sugar mama.
Shirts. He's out there buying those little controller shirts for his controllers now. I'm sure he's just like, yeah,
that's it. Baby. Yeah, the controller hoodie. Yeah, the controller hoodie. Yeah,
controller hoodies. Holy shit! I thought I've seen it all, but that's crazy. What's this Happy Cloud Gamer? Why do people playing Skyrim? It's about the open world and all that happening inside the open world. I mean, that's part of the mystique, right? I mean, and again, there are that faction of gamers who are going to love every little nuance about these games. They always do, right? And that's fantastic. But like I said, I think the game industry right now, I think it's a good problem, but it's kind of a problem in itself. As like I said, things are becoming so expansive, and because we're getting so many games compared to perhaps in years past. I mean, I don't care. There might not be, say, like this year, you could easily say, okay, well, Xbox didn't have enough first-party games or whatever. Okay, fine. But for anybody to come out and say you got no games to play, then you must be the pickiest human being on the planet. because there seems to be a gajillion games to play between indies and big releases. There is no shortage, so nobody should be bored to death. Plus, our backlogs are probably longer than they've ever been. I know I can never catch up to mine. Every time I start going, I want to play this game, another game comes out, and you kind of go back and forth. And that's my guilty thing now, is like then I go back and then play some of these other games that I was just getting good at, and then I forget how to play them. Like even the other night, I went back to playing Mortal Kombat. My God, I couldn't remember how to play the damn thing. I was so bad. I was like, man, I got to play some of this stuff more often. But crazy.
And Noof doesn't even have Game Pass. Noof doesn't even have,
I don't even have Game Pass when I'm swamped.
That's his regular backlog. That's his regular backlog.
I was about to say that's his Game Pass right there, his backlog. So
I was still staring at a stack of 360 games the other night that I've just started repurchasing again because I got rid of my 360 so many times. I'm like, I haven't even finished half of these games yet. I'm like, what the heck?
No, I don't blame you. It's like me. I'm playing not even. Well, actually, I haven't finished it. I guess I'm almost done. I'm playing Hellblade 1 because I never played it. I had it, but it was there, so I decided to, give it a try, and I'm liking it.
See, those are the kind of games, though, I'm more likely to finish because simply I know right off the bat that the game basically has, there's no side stuff in that game. You just play it, and it's like
very linear.
Very linear, and you know that the game is going to be like, it could be between 5 to 8 hours in general. It's kind of like the Call of Duty games, right? There's not a whole lot of paths or branches or things to collect. You just kind of go, you play it and you enjoy the story, you're done. And those are the games that, honestly, I'm more likely to get through. And as a matter of fact, because I get through them so quickly, they're also the games I'm more likely to replay again because of that time frame.
Hellblade is one of the worst games to come back to and then trying to remember all your controls and what to do. So if you play Hellblade, go ahead and finish it out. If you hadn't played it or finished it and it's been months, you might want to just start over.
Yeah, I tried to go back to Hellblade, and you're right. I couldn't remember Jack.
I forgot where I was. I was like, oh crap, where was I supposed to be going? It was hard.
But it's okay to be linear, but don't make it like really walking sim and then you don't get to fight anybody. So
you're in for a treat then, because that's pretty much Hellblade 1.
That's the reason why I make that comment, because it reminds me of one of Prince of Persia's from 360, that the only thing that you get to do is pretty much fight bosses. That was like a anime type Prince of Persia, whatever it is, but it was only bosses, no little minions or whatever. No, it's good, but to make it sim and you don't get to do anything, no, that's something that it needs to change. It's okay to do it like that, but don't make it a walking sim.
Okay. We're going to bring in Terry and the Indie Spotlight in just a second, but just before we conclude this topic on Starfield, what release date are you guys hoping for overall? Do you think this would be better for Xbox overall if they dropped it at the end of the year, or do you think early would be best to kind of take advantage of sort of some spotlight where the calendar is a little less congested normally in the first several months of the year? So where do you hope it stands? Are you happy either way? Let's start with Paul and work our way back.
There is no less congested this year because they're still catching up from last year, including third-party games that were delayed and are dropping this year. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping it drops before June. I'm hoping it's closer to the April-May window to give it a little bit of space away from the other game they got dropping, Redfall. So, but either way, I mean, I'm gonna be one of those guys that disappears into Starfield. So I'm because of like multiplayer games and stuff. My issue is going to be things like Hogwarts Legacy, which I also want to play. Another big game that's going to be dropping in a few weeks here. So
you're not boycotting that one, are you, Paul?
No.
Good.
I don't want to get into it on this show because it's not the space for it. But yeah, right. I'm not going to be boycotting it. So.
And neither am I. Go ahead, Eternal Shaddai. Where do you hope that Starfield drops? Early, late, doesn't matter.
Okay, March.
Because
at least I have a feeling it's gonna be mid-March, somewhere around probably whatever Tuesday it is at 12 or or the 20 something, whatever. But I feel that it's going to be in March to compete with the usual big guns.
Nice. Okay. March for you. Jason Max in the chat says 4/4/23. I'm totally fine with April, Mr. Jason Max. Thank you for that. And the Fastback says March 23rd, 2023. So that would also be a date that I could deal with. How about you, Scrub? You a late guy or end of the year? Where do you think it should drop on the Xbox calendar?
Well, I personally am never early. I just want to point that out before I say anything else. But what I would say is I really don't care, early or late, as long as it's maybe spaced out 3 months away from Redfall, whether Redfall comes out first or Starfield. I think they need to give them 3 months leeway time for folks to enjoy the game, especially Starfield. It's going to be a longer game. It's going to take more time. You don't want to eat up the fan base of Redfall either if that comes out and it ends up being a great game. So as long as
if they did a 3 month window, that would make Starfield have to drop in February. I'm not kidding. So yeah.
That's why I said either way, I would prefer Redfall to come out first. But they said in the first 6 months. So I mean, get your 6 months in, play it, whatever. February is a good month to do it. Many people are complaining, although the last 2 years is starting to change, but there's a lot of times where there's dead stuff in February and March. So why not put it out in February? And it wouldn't hurt anything. So like I said, 3 months, give it time to breathe. You can also then say, hey, here's the start of us trying to do a game a quarter on Game Pass too.
Right.
Even though we know it might not pan out for the rest of the year. You know, we still got Motorsport and some other stuff that we're still waiting on the exact release dates. But yeah, 3 month space.
Nice. Axel.
So Fastback on our show said that it would be great if Starfield dropped in April because April is supposed to be Space Month. So I think that's a really nice alignment in April for Space Month.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's it?
Yeah. I mean, you just asked for a date. I'm going, hey, April, Space Month. Why not?
You know, I like it. April's a great month. Yep.
Huh?
No, I like it. April's a great month. I would be totally down for April. Like, you know, in the chat, someone said that, I mean, they think that Redfall could be February. And then, of course, Ghostwire Tokyo is supposed to be out in April, apparently. So, I mean, obviously, even though it's already been out on PlayStation, it's still a highlight game to bring to Xbox. And I've been playing that one as well, and I'm liking what I've played of it so far. So, definitely lots of games coming. And it sounds like, Terry, at least when it comes to this game, you probably couldn't really care less.
Not really, but I feel like if it came out in like April or May, that would be good. Like, it's not going to come out in February or March because it's already January. They're going to want time to advertise the actual release date and promote it. So it's not going to come out that early.
Right.
That's why I was saying about the 3 month window. If they're going to be doing an Xbox show pretty soon, you could do the Xbox show, have Redfall come out in March, and still have your time to put Starfield in June. So I know a lot of folks go, there's impossible. Yeah, I understand that. That's why I said a window, either one. I don't care which one is first, but just give the one time. So you've seen a whole lot more of Redfall lately. So I think it's possible that Redfall could come out first, but who's to say? Bethesda does a lot of stuff where they show you 1 month out and then the game drops or less. So it can work.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wrap it up by just saying I really don't care. But honestly, after hearing what Scrub said, I like the idea of June. I like it right before or right after the E3. And the reason being because it would give gamers a big game to digest all through the summer. Of course, kids are out of school and stuff like that. So you get more eyes on. Plus, it would also sort of pad that quarter a little bit for Xbox, as we expect Game Pass numbers will definitely rise. And again, it's a murky game. If they bundle it in with something or whatever, you know what I mean, a special limited edition console and all that fun promotional stuff. From Xbox side of things, it's not just release the game, but it's about the promotional side as well, right? It's maximizing that investment and getting more eyes on. And we all know that November, it's the optimal month from a sales perspective in most cases, but then you start going up again against Call of Duties. And can you imagine the conundrum that Xbox has to deal with when and Motorsport? But can you imagine as well if and when the Activision Blizzard deal goes through? I suspect it will, but it's taking a lot longer than any of us had thought, I think, already. But we won't get into that. But if and when it goes through, then that's another crazy conundrum for Microsoft, because then they have to figure out how they're going to balance the massive glut of games around marketing promotions and making sure they don't overlap, because you don't want to be cramming in a really big game right next to a game like Call of Duty, because it's almost a death strike. No matter how hard or how good that game is, you kind of stay away from that one for a couple of weeks till the hype dies down, and then you move along. At least in my opinion, we all saw what EA did with Battlefield and Titanfall 2 that time, and I think that still remains true today. And that's why a lot of companies, bravo to Sega and putting Sonic Frontiers right out during Modern Warfare 2. Was it Modern Warfare 2 came out next to?
God of War. They put it right next
to
God
of War. Like, damn. Like, I was like, yeah, but then again, but it's a multi-plat though, right? It's a multi-plat that stands a better chance. And apparently, from all the indications that I have, Sonic Frontiers was received rather well, and Sega looks like they're already pushing forward with more ideas to bring another sequel out. So good on them and good on Sonic for having sort of a resurgence. I would have to agree, from having the game, that I think it is literally one of the best playing Sonic games in a long time. The only downside I've seen to Sonic Frontiers that I played is you can tell that they designed it largely with the Switch in mind, and I don't blame them. But if you look at the graphics, they're definitely like, boy, this game wasn't built on the current hardware. Like, they largely built those graphics so the Switch could handle the game, because the textures and stuff are almost absolutely terrible. But regardless, it's still a good game. So it is a shame, Dan the Man, that Titanfall got overlooked, and we're all crossing our fingers that Titanfall 3 comes back, if EA will ever take the stranglehold off of Respawn and Apex Legends. So who knows?
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, let's not hold our breath, right? We know how that goes. But anyway, it is now time for CoolcatTerri and the Indie Spotlight. So let's bring Coolcat into the fray here.
Yay! All right, guys. So I went ahead and I picked today's game off of a suggestion that we actually had from a guest that we had on, I think it was the last show we just did, I think. Or it was either that one or the one before that. I can't remember exactly which one. Sorry, I'm trying to grab my screen at the same time. All right. So I personally have not played this game, so I'm not able to give out a lot of information on it. But this was a game that was highly recommended by Titan Drago. So I wanted to go ahead and put it on the Indie Spotlight. This way, those of you who want to go ahead and try it out will be able to do so. So let me go ahead and let's turn on the trailer.
No Smite, please.
It's not Smite.
The dark and dangerous medieval ages bear many challenges. You need to hunt to survive.
No.
And build shelter against the elements. Be clever in trading. Expand your settlement. And keep your people happy. Defend your village against the outlaws. And make your family live in safety. Create and grow your own medieval dynasty.
All right, so Medieval Dynasty, he could not stop promoting this game when we had him on recently, so I wanted to go ahead and show it up to you guys. So it's an action-adventure, like survival RPG style game. It does have a storyline to it, which is nice. Usually survival RPGs don't really have much story to it. So that's pretty cool. It is a $35 game. It's available on PC and Xbox, and it is also on Game Pass. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. And but yeah, basically you create your own character, and basically you flee a war, and you want to put fate in your own hands, and you basically start a family, and you build a village and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, go ahead and check it out.
All right.
It does look pretty good indeed. Absolutely. Good. Medieval Dynasty, as suggested by Titan Drago and now CoolcatTerri. Go check it out. Yeah, it looks kind of fun. I know that was probably most CGI'd kind of intro.
Yeah.
Some of the graphics.
I went through so many trailers. They didn't really have any big gameplay trailers that weren't under 2 minutes and boring as heck to watch. So.
Okay. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. Our good brother Fastback's in the house. I saw Carlo himself from 4GQ. What the heck? I always mess that up, man, when I'm saying that.
4GQ TV.
There you go, 4GQ TV. Yes, our good friend Carlo in the building. Splendiferous here as well. The Jenna's been hanging out with us this morning. Doggy Dog always in the building. Mesuko is here. Deanna Man Cunningham. Jason Max is hanging out with us. And Crazy Greek Dude, Happy Cloud Gamer. We got Nola Origins and many, many awesome people. Cray Simmons in the building. What's going on, brother Cray? Good to see you here. Got to get back to playing some games with you too, Cray, man. We're going to hook up some gears or something sometime. Yeah, amazing chat, guys. Thank you once again for being a part of this first episode of 2023. We hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. We don't have a ton of topics this morning. That was the Indie Spotlight with CoolcatTerri. Scrub, do you have anything of news or notes on the Game Pass front at all, or has it kind of been relatively quiet?
Well, everything is pretty much relatively quiet. Well, there have been, when I say quiet, I'm saying that's coming out this week. I know we just had High on Life come out, which everybody who's been playing it saying they've been enjoying it, but there's not much that's out right now. There's always games to play, Plague Tale Requiem, Dust Falls, Tunic, Score, Shredder's Revenge. It's, so many different games have come out lately, so there's a lot to choose from. What I will say is, let me say one thing that are about to leave Game Pass, and then we can keep going. On the 15th of this month, Anacrusis, if you always want to check out Anacrusis, that leaves on the 15th. Nobody Saves the World, also on the 15th. So there's just some of those games that if you hadn't had a chance to, always know that you get a discount if you buy games on Game Pass. Once they leave, that is it. So play the game, have fun. If you want to hold on to that game, it's usually a 10% discount, sometimes even more of that, depending on the game. So play games, have fun. There's always something to play. There should never be an excuse of there's no games.
Well, speaking of games on Game Pass, I noticed that Mortal Shell is coming back. I think they took it away, and now you're getting the enhanced edition or the director's cut or something like that.
It's an enhanced edition because I have it. It's very punishing.
Nice.
It's very fun.
Okay, so if you're
do you feel enhanced, SHADDAI?
So it's tough in the Souls kind of vein, correct?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh damn. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I was looking for. I can't play the game to save my life. Literally, I tried it for like an hour. I was like, nope, no way, can't do it. Ain't gonna happen.
I like it, not for nothing, but I do like it. But man, it
looks great.
Strangle you. It will.
Yeah, it looks great, but yeah, it's just no. It's just
God. That's what I hate about these games. It's just they look so good. And I want to play them. It's like I know I'm gonna hate them, so I just don't bother.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Rainbow Billy just came out too. I forgot to say that. So if people just like those styles of games, there's a different variety to check out.
In fact, I checked that out last night to get my daily achievement for my rewards program. So there you go.
Okay. So just moving right along, our next topic is technically not a topic at all, but what we want to do here and what I want to tell everybody about is that just recently I suggested this to our panel. I know some other podcasts are doing something very similar, but I thought this would be interesting. And now that 2022 is officially behind us, I thought that Good Morning Xbox would do our own rendition of the Game Awards. And I assembled a list of the most, I think, were some of the most popular categories, which don't get too convoluted. And of course, for the sake of time, we don't want to make it too long either, because we know how long some of these things can be. So I'm going to throw it in the chat here. I'm going to copy and paste over the categories because I want you guys to take a look at them, and I want to give you about at least a week or so to kind of vote on them. The panel itself will toss our own votes in each category into a hat, and what we're essentially going to do is then each of us panel will then vote for the other panel member's pick. And then if we obviously get a unanimous choice overall, and this panel is obviously going to be 6 different picks. Now, 3 of us could pick the very same game, which is probably going to mean that there's a very good chance that that game is probably going to win in our category. I think that's pretty cool. But we're also going to let the audience decide what their picks would be as well. In those categories, we'll try to go through it. I think obviously it might be a lot simpler just to keep it mostly with the panel, but I'm going to bring up the list of nominees here, guys, on the screen. So let me just copy and paste this over for you, and then we'll put it in the chat so you guys can take a little time to think it over yourself. And it is going to be Xbox centric, which means we're not going to be having like God of War votes and stuff in here, because we want to keep it to games that are all available on an ecosystem of Xbox, whether you're playing them on your PC or you're playing them however you want on a mobile phone, but it has to be a game that you can play on the Xbox ecosystem. So here is a list of all the nominees. Hang on, it's taking a little while here. So here we go. So it's going to be Xbox Game of the Year, Xbox Studio of the Year, Third Party Game of the Year, Racing Game of the Year, Sports Game of the Year, Indie Game of the Year, RPG Game of the Year, Best Ongoing Game, Best Game Pass Title, Most Anticipated Game of 2023. So I think that's like 11 categories or something like that. And I think that maybe we missed a couple. We could always add something, but I think overall this encompasses most. You don't need all the subgenres like best action adventure, best, tickle my toes, best family stuff. Like, that's getting too convoluted. So we'll keep it simple because that encompasses pretty much most of the games we're going to play each and every year. At least I think so. So, I just wanted to put that out there. Any particular comments from our esteemed panel?
Let's get it going.
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
I think I just wanted to clear it up, just to be sure, because you told me just so I make sure we're on the same page that when it comes to the Xbox Game of the Year, it had to be. It wasn't a third party. It had that one you said had to have been an Xbox first party. Just want to make sure.
No, Xbox Game of the Year. No, I guess we could do Xbox Game of the Year or overall Game of the Year. We could probably add that one, or if we could just encompass it as the same. It really doesn't matter. What do you guys think?
Yeah, whatever that can be played on Xbox, because
Xbox
whether it be multi-platform or PC that's on PC Game Pass, Xbox exclusive, all that together. If you can play it on the Xbox ecosystem,
and there you have it.
We might be saying a bunch of the same thing over and over again.
That's true. I think it's going to be fun. It shouldn't take us.
Don't
very
worry,
long
I'm not going to say
through
Elden Ring, so I'll hold out there. You guys can have that one all these.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Could be a strong Elden Ring vote in here. Who knows? It won't come from me or Paul. I can tell you that. I can't vote on a game I didn't play or don't intend to. But yeah. But and I know some of you are thinking this, and we were thinking it before we started the show. Like, well, Xbox had a very slim delivery this year in terms of first party. So so that's probably actually that's great, because when we say Xbox Game of the Year, it could be anything, and if it does come a first party studio, fine. But I was going to say if we didn't have an Xbox game to put in there, we could always just vote for something that is a relevant Xbox game that still was out fairly recently, but still gets lots of playthrough. You know what I mean? So. We got Hot Gamer Boy Summer in the building. What's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hot Gamer Boy
That's
Summer.
an interesting Gamertag.
Great name. Great name.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys see some news just came out about the new Dragon Age game? It looks like it has a title now, and they've talked about some of the details. Anybody know
I did.
more
I'm
about
looking
it?
forward to it. Of course, I'm a big Dragon Age fan. Dragon Age is probably one of my favorite franchises.
Okay. Nice.
I saw it, but I never went deep into any information about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I see some deep dives and something about it that they're releasing. I'll hold off. There's so much other stuff coming out right now.
Yeah.
Or about to be.
How about the accolades for Mr. Phil Spencer, guys? He's been he's got a couple of accolades awarded to him this past week. Anybody have some thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, to be acknowledged in the way that he is, he's doing something right. Somebody's obviously noticing his breakthroughs or his efforts in the industry, so to speak. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that love Phil Spencer. There's people out there that can't stand the guy. But I like Phil. I like Phil because he's a gamer. I think he speaks from the heart. Is he always correct? No. Do I agree with all of his methods? Probably not. But then again, he's just one part of the puzzle at Xbox. He's not, there's a lot of moving parts there. And obviously many of us had to be very thankful to Phil for reviving the brand, so to speak, and still giving us a great ecosystem to play games in. So, how do you feel about Phil getting some major recognition? I think one was from the Variety Top 500, and then there was another sort of Lifetime Achievement Award. Go ahead,
Well deserved, especially for the last couple of years. I mean, look at what they've done with Game Pass, and look at what they've done with, just the company in general is definitely on an upswing. The acquisitions and mergers and some of the business acumen play into that. But yeah, I think it's well deserved. I think he, like you said, he basically almost rebranded all of Xbox. We have PC Game Pass. We have the whole ecosystem thing going on. I think it's great. I think it and to those that don't like what he's doing, well, then you don't understand business. So yeah, I think he's done a wonderful job. I think it's all of it's well deserved. Everybody thinks he's Mr. Big Kumbaya, but I can guarantee you, when he gets in the boardroom or in a meeting, that it's not all roses and wine. That's how he has to get some of this stuff done.
No, absolutely. And I applaud him because he is a real gamer. Like, I have him on my Xbox friends list, and I see him all the time. He's legitimate, and he plays a wide variety of stuff. Like, he's been playing some Vampire Survivors. He plays a lot of Destiny. Obviously loves that game. But he's been playing a lot of stuff, and he does game when he gets a chance, and I'm sure his time is much more limited than many of ours. But I mean, kudos to him. Like I said, he plays what he preaches, right?
Yep, he plays a lot of Forza too. If you look, he's always in Forza quite a bit. So
in every interview, they keep asking him, "How do you manage to work and play?" Like, there's always some time. So he's really good on doing that. He's really good.
Yeah, it's well deserved on how he's turned around Xbox so far, and just now he's planted, he's watered, and now we're just waiting the fruition of what he's been planning for all these years. So yeah, definitely well deserved.
Yeah, which game was it that he was, when he broke into the industry, he was a developer on? That wasn't Age of Empires, was it?
No.
Somebody remember what it was? There was a game that he specifically worked on. Of course, he worked his way up through the ranks, and he is where he is today. Anybody remember what that was? I forget.
I do. It was part of the Encyclopedia team back in the day.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think overall when you look at Phil? What do you think, in your opinion, has been one of at least your favorite Phil moments or one of his crowning achievements?
Saving Xbox.
Yeah,
I mean that in a literal way. It's hard when something's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
it is very difficult to convince money-centric people to take it off the chopping block. So, I think that took a lot of talent, and it also showed his leadership. And also the fact that, Satya, when he became president,
Mm-hmm.
he could have gone to literally anybody in the company and said, "Oh, I don't know why we're in gaming," and he trusted Phil's input. He goes, "I don't know why we're in gaming," and Phil gave him not just why they should stay in gaming, but how they should stay in gaming. And
Mhm.
Satya bought into it, even though a lot of the investors were saying, "Sell Xbox, sell Xbox, sell Xbox."
Mm-hmm.
But now look,
Okay.
Xbox is
Real quick,
all
I
over the
just
news.
looked it up. The only credit he shows as producer on is for Blue Dragon.
Okay.
Executive producer, 2006.
So,
Okay. Interesting.
I think that's my favorite film moment.
Well, I mean, I think every time he's taken, for me, every time he's taken the stage at like an E3, it's been a film moment, especially when he's done the hardware unveils and stuff like that. For me, obviously, he's become sort of obviously the face of Xbox. And it's kind of weird too, because when you're sort of like in his position, you're not necessarily always sort of, the guy that promotes the brand or the face of the brand per se. But like when you look at him compared to his competitive people like Jim Ryan or Doug Bowser from Nintendo, like Phil is certainly the most recognizable guy out there. And again, I think that's a large testament to his personality. Because I'm going to tell you, if I had this is fanboy stuff aside, if I had to sit down with either three of those guys in a bar for a drink, I can promise you it's going to be Phil over the other two guys, because the other two are about as seem about as exciting as swatting a fly to a piece of paper. You know what I mean? Like they're just so drab. I mean, when you're so bad, when you talk that you're making Sean Layden look fucking excited. Oh, pardon the F word. Then like obviously, yeah, you might have the corporate stuff, but you don't have the, you know what I mean? You don't have the
gaming background.
Yeah, you don't know how to talk to your audience, because that's all I get with them, and especially with Jim. Just I get that very corporate, suity kind of feel, and I thank God Phil's not like that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, is he perfect? No, but I like how, like I said, and Portal says he's used to being on camera. He's good at doing interviews. He speaks well, and again, because he is a gamer, I feel like he's at least in touch with us. He hears what we're saying. I mean, sometimes I know if he had ultimate control, there's a lot of things he could do, but because he doesn't have, he's not the guy that owns the bank, right? He's just the guy that runs the till. So he can only do so much, right?
Yep. And you touched on it. The difference is he's approachable. He really is. You can go to an event and he's right there. You can go up and talk to him. When I've been on calls, but he's very approachable. He doesn't, you can't talk to Phil. There's none of that, hands off stuff.
Right.
So yeah, that's the biggest difference, I think.
Absolutely. Anybody have anything else for the ad, or anybody have any topics we want to bring up before we kind of wind down the show?
The only thing that I can say is he came with the best idea on how to show Xbox Series X over there at the Video Games Awards. That was awesome.
Okay. Well, I guess, since this is 23 and we're actually here in the year now, I mean, we may have touched on it before we got to this point, but what is essential for Xbox this year? I mean, what are the biggest things that we hope the brand sort of takes us this year? I mean, obviously, they got two systems that are doing relatively, if not extremely well. Seeing a big resurgence for Xbox Series X. Everybody seems to be, at this point, at least hardware-wise, everybody's are you relatively happy where we've been for the last 2 years? And are we expecting any new hardware announcements, you think, this year, or they'll pass on that completely?
I hope not, only because they need to be totally focused on software, putting out games, especially first-party games, and showing them in their best light, making sure that they are as clean, nice as possible, especially when we're talking about doing their advertisement and different things of that nature. We don't need another, let's show this game and have another Halo Infinite moment, Craig, something of that nature. And I think they have the ability to do it. It's just they have to execute it. They're always going to be somebody who's who's a hater on it. I don't like this. But you didn't do this. So you'll never satisfy those people. But give something that the hardcore Xbox gamers and fans have something to cheer about and do cartwheels over, because they've been waiting for that moment. You've got all these studios. There's so many games that's been delayed. We can talk about whether it was this versus that. So this is the year to come out and do it. 2018, you came on that stage and showed all these studios that you were purchasing. It is time, past time, to start showing a lot what Xbox can do with these studios, with the money that they have behind Microsoft, with Game Pass, acquiring, and all those different things. So this is the time to put up and shut up. There can't be another wait to E3. Just wait to this. In the next 12 months, it needs to start dropping. Even if you do some shadow drops, then it needs to start happening. So I believe they can do it.
Now, one of the big games I think a lot of us are hoping to get more information on would be Indiana Jones. Do you think that Xbox is strategically leaving some of that out because they may drop some info or more of a full-scale reveal when the movie actually drops? Because I think that would be a smart move in 2023, don't you?
I don't think we'll hear nothing about Indiana Jones maybe till E3 or later. Because look, we got a teaser for Contraband.
Indiana Jones slated for May or June, isn't it, for that movie?
No.
Anybody know what the new Indiana Jones release date is for the movie?
I'd have to look it up.
I think it was like in June.
I think it's June as well. If it's June, that would make tons of sense. Like, you got a movie coming out. I mean, what better time to hype a game? Even if you only show just a couple of minutes of gameplay footage, we know it's coming out. It's not like it's a secret, right? So just give us something to salivate over, right?
Yeah, I think it's June 30th or whatever. Unless the game is going to be coming after, I don't want to see it. There's so many games supposed to be coming before then or right around that time that we don't have dates for and stuff. I don't want to keep moving on to what about the next game release date? What about the next game? And we're still waiting to play these other games. That's just me personally.
Yeah, case in point, yeah. But I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't. Well, as they say, you got to strike while the iron is hot, right, Axel?
You should strike while the iron's hot, but the iron has cooled down so much. I think they need to focus on the games that they have. Relight that fire, put the iron back in. I really don't think they have any business announcing anything about any other games until these three promised in that 24-hour window or that 12-month window come out. As far as Indiana Jones going on, it's not for me. I'm not an Indiana Jones guy. I don't find the movies entertaining, anything like that. So that game is definitely a pass for me. But, for those that are excited for it, I understand your hype, especially with the movie. And you're right. I think the movie should come out and they should show something about the game. Even if it's just another game trailer, even if the game is, I don't know, another 2 years out. Because and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if the game is still 2 years out. Because there's this little game called 007 GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64 that came out 2 years after the movie, and it was amazing. So as long as the game is great, I don't think it really matters if the game is still 2 years out.
Drop a trailer before the Indiana Jones movie comes. While you're sitting in the theaters, and drop a trailer.
Yeah, Noof, what if there's an exclusive game preview at theaters only? That would be something.
That'd be awesome. Just to remind gamers that it's coming out there, and when this is going to be Indiana Jones' last kick at the can. So, that's how I think. I mean, the game's got to be at least obviously in a playable state, and it's got to be looking somewhat. I mean, this game wasn't started yesterday. It's been started for a couple of years now, and they got some big talent behind it. It's got Machine Games, and they've been known to pump out their games relatively quickly. These aren't guys who are like new to this industry, and they're going to build it on their engines, so that like it should be further along perhaps than many of us even expect it is.
Hey, Noof, it says June 30th.
June 30th. So there you go.
Yeah, it's June 30th. I like Fastback was saying, and a couple of people have been saying, yeah, well, they've teased a lot of games early. Why not tease this one early? I don't have a problem with teasing a game early. PlayStation does it as well. The problem that we've been having lately is all these games have been teased early and they still haven't come out.
Yeah,
So
a lot of
it
delays.
does, tease these games early, but while you tease, some of them have to drop while others are still in process of being finished. And that what right now we're teasing everything early, and then all of them we're still waiting to come out, and that's
Right.
what makes it hard.
The last night. I mean,
Well, let's hope that by the time this year kind of comes to a close and we get ready to celebrate 2024, let's hope that delays are going to be always part of the industry. But let's hope that with COVID a little closer to the rearview mirror than in the front of us, that things are getting somewhat back to normal and studios can go full force and they can get stuff done. That's all I'm hoping for at this point. Like, we can't expect the impossible, and we're not here to point fingers. Again, we wish them the best. We want all the studios to come out, and again, strategically, you got to do this right. And from Game Pass perspective, that also weighs in there because they need to have releases that keep the momentum going. It can't all be in 1 month. It can't all be cramped together. You got to space them out. You got to strategically do it right, and then you got to have your third-party deals to supplement some of the downtime in between as well. So there's lots on the scale here. I'm just saying, when it comes to seeing some of the new games, Indiana Jones, if you wrap it somewhere close to the movie, well, there's lots of advertising hype on the movie. It at least gets people out there thinking about the game, even if it is still a year or two down the road. Like, you start thinking about it, and again, you might even drum up more Game Pass subscriptions because people know, okay, well, I like this Indiana Jones thing, and the game is coming out on Xbox and Game Pass, and boom, you get some people invested in the ecosystem a bit earlier, perhaps. Paul, you watching porn over there? What's going on?
No, I'm just surfing, seeing if there's anything interesting.
He looks like he's trying to read the fine script over there. He's at least
No, just listening, just listening. Yeah.
What are you hoping for, Paul? I mean, I know we kind of talked about this before, but I mean, do you have a certain expectation or something that you'd really like to see them strive for this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, just let's get because we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go from famine to feast. So yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of releasing them in such a way that we have time for all of them. It's and I do think that some of the, and I hate saying this, but some of it's probably going to be pushed into next year because it's going to be too crowded. That the delay is not going to be because it's not finished, but just because there's no room for it. Because they don't want it to happen like what happened with Titanfall. They don't want it to get buried beneath a big title. So we'll see. There are some games I'm hoping that are supposed to come out soon. There's that new Star Trek game, Resurgence, coming out that I'm looking forward to. Of course, we have like 5 new Star Wars titles still in the works. Some we're starting to get more information on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always look forward to these type of all these games coming out. I just hope I live long enough to see them.
Point well taken.
Yeah.
SHADDAI. How about you, man? What gets you excited? What's well, I shouldn't ask you that question. That could be a number of things. You're locked up in that.
Yeah, remember he's in prison. So,
Look, you got some light coming into the windowsill, so that's good. You got a little rat to play with back there, or what?
Yeah, I have my own pet over here. Just having fun.
Whoa, is that what they're calling him now?
Wow.
Holy crap.
He's so excited, he's speechless.
Yeah. When I need a friend, I have my pet rat.
Wow.
So, anything like, a number one thing that you'd really like to see Xbox kind of just throw out there and knock out of the park this year?
I'm gonna repeat this again. Market and treat your first party correctly. Simple as that. I really don't want Microsoft to pull what they have done in the past And what I mean by it is, for a good example, like Dead Rising 3, Recore, and all that. Exclusive games never have a marketing, never got treated correctly. So I expect them to do a full 360 when it comes to that in productions. So I expect that to be cleaned up a little bit better, a little bit more organized. Show release dates, because this full trailers and snippets in here with no release date, that's kind of like they're coming out with that new big thing. I'd rather show it but not release date. It's okay to do that the first time, but don't keep doing that, repeating that again. Also, let me see. I know Phil said that he wants to do, or correct me if I'm wrong. I know he said one AAA game per quarter. So I think that's what he's trying to do this time around. That's why we haven't heard anything about it. That's why we're talking about Starfield. What about Redfall? But what about this one and that one? Probably Phil is trying to be as organized as it can be, because this is a lot. This is a lot. I never seen Xbox have this many studios since probably the 360 era. And I don't want them. I hope, I'm just crossing fingers, it doesn't end up like, okay, we gotta close this studio down like it happened to Lionhead. I don't want Ensemble to be closed down because they have so many studios. I wanted to see how they're gonna treat. I don't want to have negativity on that one, but remember, it's a staple there. It's still there, even though people might not think about it. But sometimes in business, that actually happens. So I still want to see compulsion. What they have. They haven't even shown anything. And sometimes you gotta Xbox gotta be you want to have an independent, fine, but sometimes you have to put your foot on the ground hard and say, I gave you this much time. I want something. Yes, studios, yeah, but we don't have a brand new studio, and that's what happened to Ninja Theory. Sometimes that happens. You need a new studio and new mocap and all that, but you have to show something. You really have to show something. They have a lot of patience. I'm sorry, but this new era of Xbox, they're having a lot of patience, because if it was in the old Xbox, they probably would have pushed it hard, whether they like it or not. So they better be grateful that they're giving out time, but we're getting restless. We're getting restless.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, they got a big E3 coming up this year, and they got a few months to kind of put the finishing touches and get ready for that. And I think I expect them to really deliver this year. I really do. I could be wrong. Again, I'll temper my expectations, as you say, because we certainly know where this stuff goes, right? But I definitely expect a good presence from Xbox. And heck, I'll take them at least showing up, unlike other companies who basically haven't done anything in that regard. So, a guy who shows up to the fight is always better than a guy who backs out, period. So, in my personal opinion, and they will have some stuff. I'm confident on that this year. We got Dreadpool in the chat. What's going on, brother Dread? Good to see you in the building. Splendifer still hanging out with us. Happy Cloud Gamer. Portal players in the house. What's going on? Jigga J. Good to see you here. Crispy Rambo. And we do have a $2 super chat coming in, courtesy of our good friend Splendiferous. And he drops a $2. And Scrubners, take it away.
Splendiferous says, why does Paul look like Sir X-Man this morning?
I've got way more hair than Sir X-Men has had since he was started like 12. So yeah.
I don't know how you got to take that one. That was a weird compliment. Or insult or compliment, we don't know. Huh? Good stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah. Terry, I want to hear from you before we close things out. one major expectation or something you'd really like to see this year? Is it, follow through on what they got, or is there anything if you were running the company right now, what kind of thing you think you should do, or would you like to see?
I would say, yeah, just kind of get out the stuff that everybody's already been waiting on. Just get it out.
Right.
And then the only other thing is, with whatever they have in the works, just make sure it utilizes their hardware. The biggest issue that these console platforms have is they don't make games to fully utilize the hardware. And so they just use the hardware. It's
Right.
annoying when we go and we upgrade to the newest hardware and we're still playing games that are developed from the previous hardware. So just utilize the hardware. That's all I can say.
That's a great point. I can tell you I got two $600 Canadian consoles in my bedroom, Series X and a PS5, and I still don't feel like either one has even stretched their legs yet. I agree with that. I feel like why tout power and performance when games are still coming out that, so far the best thing about either one of them so far, hands down for me, has been the hard drive and the load times. That's the one thing I totally notice. And yes, I do. Yes, frame rates are better overall, but I still don't feel that we've seen the full potential of either one of these consoles yet.
Right. The stuff we're getting from these new consoles now are just the comfort features, quick resume, which is great. 120 frames per second, which is exceptional. Being able to use Dolby Atmos, you're using all this stuff, but like you're saying, to use for visuals and different things of that nature, it's still, a lot of them look like you're still using assets and different things from last gen. So they got to drop them soon. We're finishing that 2-year mark and going into the next. You got to start having games that are for this current gen only.
I still want that snap feature so we could play and watch TV at the same time. I miss that feature.
Just going on
That
Dirt.
Dirt Greedy in it, Billy. Holy moly, what's going on, brother?
Dirt was passing by my job, so I'm keeping an eye on him.
Got to get Dirt Greedy on here some morning. I don't think he's ever been on Good Morning Xbox, has he?
No.
Definitely got to get on. I know he's been on Gaming After Dark, but I definitely got to get him on here. Great Xbox supporter. Always has some very interesting takes on the industry, and certainly I liked it that he throws some dirt literally back at some of the idiotic fanboys out there.
They're funny.
See, honest to God. Yeah, we might have to do a spin-off show sometime that's where we give an award show, like the most idiotic, YouTubers or social media people.
Dirt does, what was it called? The Dirt Bag of the Week or something?
Yeah, something like that. I used to like when Spooky Sprocket showed out to him when he used to do the wank stain.
The crap of the week.
Oh my God, it was so funny with Spooky, the wank stain or whatever, and he'd do the little video. That guy's hilarious. Get out, wank stain, he's going to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, with the accent and everything is great. Piece of shit. Hey, Freddie Fox, what's going on, man? Of the week, great stuff. Hey, look at all these guys showing up here just in time for the game handout. Hey, that's how it goes. Huh?
That's right. That's how it works.
Just in time. They're like, I just show up in the last 5 minutes, get my name in the draw here. So, well, it's there. Doesn't matter if you're here for a minute or here the whole show. Got to put you in. So let me do that here. Freddie Fox and Chia Walker, welcome. So, Freddie. Guys, by the way, for the game giveaways, and I need to make this very clear, you need to at least add me on Xbox at NewfNukem, or make sure you're following me. You don't have to follow me after today, but follow me long enough so you can DM me or I can send you a DM. I would say it's easier for you to send me a message if you win this damn game, because I've had a few winners recently that aren't part of this process, and it makes it very difficult, and I'm only going to give you 48 hours to claim a code, otherwise it's going back into a draw for someone else. So there you go. So make sure, and if you look at the YouTube description, all of our handles are down there, including my gamer tag, my Twitter, and everybody else is on the panel. All of our descriptions are there where to find us, so you can't blame me if I didn't tell you, because you've been told. So Yeah, there you go. Because we've had
and let people know that it's a U.S. digital.
That's
only.
right. It's U.S. digital. Unfortunately, sorry about that. I wish I could make them open everywhere. Maybe that's something that in the future, as we're talking about the future, maybe this is something I wish that all of the companies would straighten out. And there's got to be a way to overcome the whole, the currency
universal
thing, right? A
No,
universal.
there's logistical and legal reasons that they can't. But that goes into a whole long thing. So.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's doable and it can be done. And I think and at the end of the day, I only think that would drive more sales, because I'd be a lot more prone to driving or buying more games for our audience here as well if I didn't have to go through. Like, for example, I got the game for Your Wicked Hot, right? So I had to spend so much money for the game at the store, and then the bloody game, because it sent it to US. It cost me, I think it was like almost $20 to send a freaking game, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like it hurts.
Yeah.
It's like if it's digital code, it's different. But then you got to go through all that BS because I'm in Canada, you're in the States, and then you got to try, like, for most people, I couldn't be bothered having to try to go through what do you call it? What was it, Paul? You always doing?
VPN,
the VPNs and stuff, and changing regions and doing this and doing that. It's just too complicated. You know what I mean? So yeah. And if that's what you're referring to in the chat, there's a way to do it. Yeah, there are ways around some of the walls, but they're, like I said, they're just kind of, yeah. But anyway, let me enter all these people. We're gonna get ready to close the show. We're gonna bring up the you can buy.
Okay, don't enter Dreadpool because he's being a jerk in chat. So just
Jacob Novik, what's going on? Gonna add you to the pile here. You see who else came in here that I don't have on the board. Outbreak Gamers. Jeez, everybody's coming in. I got to catch up on the names now because they're all coming in at the one time.
Well, a lot of it, they're waking up too.
They're waking up. Somebody's saying, "Hey, you got to get in here. There's a code draw giveaway here." Courtesy again of Eternal Shaddai. Very nice of him. Very generous to give away a code for this game. So thanks for that, Shaddai.
No problem. Anytime.
Outbreak Gamers. I think that's Web Dave.
Even though Axel was like desperate to have it, and Scrub.
No, Scrub. I bought that game myself.
Oh no.
I got a little money. money.
I don't know, but you're like, oh, you could have given it to me. So he was
I don't want to know what Eternal shit I had to do to earn the code, though. That's just
Hopefully, it was just cigarettes. Hopefully, it was just cigarettes.
I'll give you the secret. It's called Bing Points.
All right, guys. All right, let's get ready to do it here. I'm going to bring up this.
Poor Noof.
And I'm sorry. I'm not distracted. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat because everybody came in at the last minute. So I've had to add all these names. A little easier when they're coming in at a time. Like, I guess that's I keep saying, yeah, it'd be nice to have all these viewers, but man, if you had a couple hundred viewers, holy crap, this would get complex. I'd probably have to take them in a name in a thing and then basically do it like a week later or something like that. But anyway, let's bring up the screen here. We'll share the screen on file, the wheel of names. Where the hell did that go? Okay. There we go. Bringing it up. Here we go, guys. And let's bring this up to full screen.
What are these ads showing?
Wow. You? Holy crap.
What?
Wow.
These targeted ads?
Light, bright, despite age. Okay.
Live bright despite age.
Activate all right. So I'm going to read back some of the names here. And to my panel, make sure if you see something that's not somebody that wasn't at it that you know was in the chat this morning, let me know. So we're going to start out real quick. So listen for your name. You're Wicked Hot, Doggy Dog 420, Crazy Greek Dude, Casket Repair, The Jinna, Tryhard Fan, Fastback, General Spartan, R. Rob, Mandingo McThickens, Dan the Man Cunningham, Ice Queen Gaming, Brandon Dwyer, Apex, Happy Cloud Gaming, A Friendly Pest, Jason Max, 4GQTV, Eamon Burns, Cray Simmons, One Punch Jedi, Nola Origins, Masuko, Splendiferous, Crispy Rambo, Hot Gamer Boy Gamer, HGK360, Portal Player, Jaguar Gaming, Jigga J, Dreadpool, Freddie Fox, Dirt Griggity, Jacob Novik, Outbreak Gamers, Cheel Walker, and Joshua. Did I score everybody here? Did I get them all? Yes. I don't recall if there's any names I don't think I missed.
That seems about right.
I see. So. What was that?
And
Z
now we got
Phoenix
Z
2.
Phoenix 2 just popped in
Yep.
the chat. Okay, once again, I'm going to reiterate, make sure that you have me added on Twitter or at least on Xbox, that my links are down in the YouTube description below. This is NewfNukem like 40 plus hot Asian moms. Well, actually, dude, right?
Oh,
Asian ladies are always amazing. No, that's Zed Phoenix 2. Hang on, one more. Zed Phoenix 2. Okay, all right. Are we ready? Because we only got the one draw. So here it is. If you haven't been in the chat, that's too late. This is your last call. All right, and here we go, guys. We are getting ready to spin the wheel. Hopefully, good luck to everybody. Let's find out who wins.
By the way, you know the other way to do this when the crowds get big, Noof, is just to do it like a frapple,
Tick,
a
tick,
follower
tick,
raffle.
tick, tick, tick.
oh,
Crazy Greek
Crazy Greek dude.
a longtime supporter of the
He said
show.
draw again. He said draw
Crazy
again,
said
Noof.
draw again. Perhaps he's already got the game. Okay. Well,
There's
let's
a couple
thank
people
Crazy
said draw
for
again.
already
So
giving
say
me the
remove
code.
name and then draw again. Yeah, remove name
Yeah,
and
remove the
respin it.
name. All right, here we go. We're going to spin again. Crazy gives it up on default. One more time. Making this interesting this morning.
New rapidly updating site subscriptions.
Well, see,
Dreadpool.
when
Tick, tick, tick,
when
Need
I
for
use
Speed
this site,
Unbound.
Dan the Man Cunningham. All right, Dan the Man Cunningham is technically our winner, our second winner.
Let's see if he got it or not. Because usually that
the game
happens.
is Need for Speed Unbound, courtesy of Eternal SHADDAI. So congratulations, Dan the Man Cunningham. I'm pretty sure you are following me over on social media. So, or if not, you're pretty sure you have me on Xbox. So send me a message. You got 48 hours, claim to fame. If I haven't heard from you, goes back into a draw. Again, guys, thanks so much for bearing with us and coming out to the show this morning. We're just about ready to wrap things up. So let's do our outros and let's get everybody out of here. And we will start with Scrub because he usually got to take off quickly. Mr. Scrub Nurse, where can people catch up with you, my friend?
Yeah, I want to say congrats to Dan. Yeah, Need for Speed Unbound is pretty fun. So if you hadn't had a chance to check it out, y'all please go do that. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at ScrubNurse3. Xbox Gamertag is, of course, Scrub Nurse, which you can always find on my Twitter. And then my Twitch is Scrub_Nurse.
oh well.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep talking over the music. You will not shut me up. You will not get me off this stage.
Yeah, it's gonna play you out. He's gonna play you out. There you go.
I would also like to thank my brother who has now become a doctor at the age of 40.
Wow.
Oh,
man.
No, just a little shot at the Game Awards, but that was funny. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming up. Glad we can make it. That we're starting a new year. We're inching closer toward making 2 years. Can you believe it? Almost 2 years of Good Morning Xbox. So thank you for all the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share out to let everybody know where we're at. We appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys later. Y'all take it easy.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Scrub, and again, thanks to this entire panel. They mean the world to me. You know, Axel and this entire crew kept this thing going for over half a year when I stepped aside for a bit. So, again, that's awesome. It's awesome that they did that, and they did a hell of a good job with it. So, congrats on that, and thanks again, Scrub. We'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, the music, y'all try to shut me down. I also like to thank my wife and my kids.
Oh, that's awesome. Great stuff. So yeah, that's why I love this panel. They roll with it, man. It's just great. Cerebral Paul, let people know where they can catch up with you. I know you're in a lot of different places, sir.
Not as many as I used to be. You can find me on Twitter, CerebralPaul1, Twitch at CerebralPaul. You can find me on Tuesdays with the Retro Renegades, and on Wednesday, not Wednesday now, Thursdays with 4GQTV. Mondays, I am on the Xbox Ambassador channel doing my show Gaming Differently with Cerebral Paul at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. in the UK. Again, that's the Xbox Ambassador Twitch channel. That's where you can find me there. So.
All right, guys. Like I said, all the descriptions and stuff are also in the YouTube descriptions down below. All right, let's bring in Eternal SHADDAI.
I would like to thank the prison guard for giving me the opportunity for this, to this podcast. People can find me at Twitter, Eternal SHADDAI. The same thing as you see here on the screen. For the Xbox console, I'll be streaming on Twitch at ETESHADDAI. And actually, I'm really happy. Congratulations to Dan once again. So enjoy your weekend.
There you go. All righty. Let's bring in Axel to the outros here. Let people know what's happening.
All right. Thank you so much again. Congratulations to the winner. And yeah, it's good to be back. But as always, guys, my name is Axel1324. I am the host of the Iconic Video Games Podcast every Friday night, where we just talk video games, no consoles, no services, just games that we love, that we have played, that we are currently playing, and that we look forward to playing. You can catch us over on my channel at Axel1324 Gaming, Axel1324 on Twitter and on Xbox.
Something's off about Axel this week. Is it no hat? Is that what it is?
No hat. That's right.
No hat.
no hat.
I was gonna say, is that the new look for this year? Just a no hat?
No. I don't know. I just feel like wearing a hat this morning.
All right. I didn't.
He
come
doesn't
on
have
camera at
bedhead
all,
tonight.
okay.
Yeah.
I woke up early.
There you go. Don't forget, Gaming Beyond the Box is back for the new year, guys. Tonight, that's right, Wilmy Hood and Company. Go check that amazing little podcast out as well. Got to get Wilmy on at this podcast at some point as well. He's a great dude. Make sure you go follow him. You can check Scrub out there if you didn't get enough of him today. So, yes, all righty. So, thanks for that, Axel. We'll see you next week, and look forward to another one of your awesome shows as well. So, good stuff. All right, and to the epic rant lady herself, new look, and same old crook, as I said earlier. CoolcatTerri, what's happening? Let people know where they can check you out.
All right, guys, you can go find me over on Twitter, Coolcat_Terri. Otherwise, my name is just like you see it everywhere else, whether you go to Instagram or on Twitch. And then I also have 2 YouTube channels. I have my CoolcatTerri channel, and then I have Coolcat's Alley, which is all car content. So go ahead and check that out. I am getting ready to crack open my engine on my BMW Z3 because I got to change the valve cover gasket. So it's going to be exciting.
Look at that. A lady who is not only a gamer, but she's versatile under the hood. There you go. Thanks for being here, Terry. A great show back as always. And you guys know where to find me. Always in the gutter. No, not doing gaming after dark anymore, in case you've been living under a rock and have not heard. Yes, I've shut down that podcast for 100 different reasons. I won't get into them here, but either which way, it was a good run. I want to thank everybody, because a lot of the people that are in this chat today, I know we're big fans of that show, and I will be back, and I'll still bring back some of my characters, and I might do a couple of one-off shows every blue moon. It'll just be one of those kind of things, when the news sort of dictates, perhaps jumping back in with our fantastic panel and doing an awesome show if they're around, or perhaps the old gang like Titan and Mag as well. Shout out to those awesome people. But again, thanks for the great run with that podcast. But I'm going to move on to some streaming and stuff as well on Tuesday nights. It's going to be my regular slot. I've never had a regular time slot for streaming games, but I'm going to make it Tuesday evenings. And I'll be streaming some different game content there. So again, you can check me out at Twitch or on YouTube. My descriptions are below, and we'll see. NewfNukem bring back at never say never, but for now, yeah, it's a done deal. Again, guys, you're amazing. The chat, you rock. The panel has been awesome, and this has been a great return for Good Morning Xbox, episode 76. Again, congrats, Dan the Man Cunningham, on winning Need for Speed Unbound, and we will see you guys